If you're buying a property and you're a little worried, maybe a first-time home buyer or maybe been burned in the past and you want some protection in the offer that you're sending over, there's a number of things that you could put into that offer to give yourself some layers of protection. And I'm going to tell you about them today. This is Ron Wysakarski, your host for the Black Hole of Real Estate. There's some very common things that you can write into an offer. You see, you could put an inspection period in there. And that gives you the opportunity after you get under contract, make your escrow, you go do the home inspections. And if there's something in there that is just a little off and you'd like the seller to repair, you can ask for that. Maybe they'll just give you a credit for those repairs. And if that's the case and you're happy with it, then you can move through the inspection period and then you're going to be okay because now you have another protection in there. If you're financing, then you can have a financing contingency. And let's say it's 30 days for you to go get your home loan approved and then make the closing. So if you're worried about not being able to qualify or you don't like the interest rates, or maybe there's something about this process where the costs went higher than you can qualify for. Maybe some of your income couldn't count towards that qualifying. There's a lot of things that can happen with this. So a financing contingency protects you. Let's say ultimately you lose your job the day before closing. That's not cool either, but at least you can cancel the contract to get your escrow back. So financing contingency, super important on there. Now there's another one, and this is a little bit different, called an appraisal contingency. And what that means is if you offer $400,000 on the property and it doesn't appraise for $400,000, then it gives you the right to go back and either renegotiate the terms or cancel out because the home did not appraise for the price that the seller agreed to sell it for and that you also agreed to buy it for. But there are times if it comes in at $375,000, you may not want to proceed with the deal because you might have to come up with $25,000 more at closing. And the seller doesn't necessarily have to reduce to that price. They're just saying you've got an appraisal contingency, which means that you have a way out of the contract if the bank's appraiser doesn't feel that the home, which is collateral, isn't worth as much as you're about to pay for it. Hope that part makes sense. So far, you've got inspections for a contingency. You've got the loan approval contingency and also an appraisal contingency. Now, what else would you want to put in there? Maybe you've got a home to sell. You could put that in there and say it's contingent upon the sale and closing of my home to be using those proceeds to purchase this one. That's a pretty common one. It happens a lot all around the country. I know that in Florida, people are a little hesitant to get tied into deals because of the domino effect. And let's suppose that there's 2 or 3 deals all in a row or even more where they're all contingent upon a sale. If one fails, they all fail. Not necessarily a good thing, but you can have a contingent upon the sale of your home. Now, we can continue down the road by saying there's what they call a 72-hour kickout clause. Oh, what the heck is that? What that means is you're willing to purchase a property contingent on the sale of your home. And if another buyer comes along and wants to buy this property and they make an offer, the seller has to present that offer to you and say, listen, we got a different offer. It's the same price. It's better terms. It's cash. And we want to be able to sell it to them. But we've got the 72-hour kickout clause that gives you 72 hours to make up your mind. And if your home sells or closes, you feel good, then you can remove the 72-hour kickout clause. If you're just feeling lucky and don't want to lose the house, you can remove the contingency of the sale of your home, but now you're on the hook to finish and close the deal, and you could now lose your escrow if you have nothing else in there to protect you from it. So 72-hour kickout clause, most buyers don't like it. But if that's the only way you're going to get a property under contract where it's contingent on the sale of your home, sometimes it's worth a shot. Worst case, you can't meet it, you get your escrow back, but you're in the game and secure the home for as long as possible. And by the way, most people, when they see a home's under contract, they tend to not want to go in there and make offers on it because someone else already bought it. So 72-hour kickout clause can be highly effective for a buyer and give a little protection to the seller as well. So not too bad there. Now, you can also do things that would be for like the well or a septic and make that part of the inspection process that we have to get these things approved. I would also tell you in a condo, you're going to likely have to be approved for a couple of things, probably approved by the board. They may require an application fee, a credit and background check. So that's a bit of a contingency to make sure that this is contingent upon you getting approved to join that association. Now, I could probably go on with a bunch of other things right now that are contingencies thrown a contract, but you get the point. With a savvy real estate agent working alongside of you, or someone who really understands this, they can absolutely do this on their own without the help of an agent. So, my job today is just to report to you some of the things that you can use to protect yourself when you're making a home purchase if you're a little bit nervous about how it might go. Now, keep in mind, just because it's good for you, it doesn't necessarily have to be good for the seller. And they're going to have to gain agreement with you on these items. Just because you put it all on the offer doesn't mean that they're going to accept it. In fact, the more contingencies that you place in a contract, the less likely you'll be able to negotiate on price because you got all those other favors tucked in there as well. Or they might just sell to somebody else with a way less complex offer. Sometimes the cleanest deal is the best one, but now you've got options. If you got questions, definitely drop them below. I want you to subscribe so we can keep sending you this information to help you with your real estate needs. This is Ron Wysakarski for the Black Hole of Real Estate.